Showbiz with Leigh Drew.
Great music of the Beach Boys. Wonderful songs, wonderful sounds in the 60s and the 70s. The Bootleg Beach Boys are currently touring Australia, reviving those wonderful songs and harmonies that were so much in vogue with the Beach Boys way back in the 60s and 70s, as I said. From Good Vibrations to Help Me Rhonda to Surfer Girl, Surfing Safari. And they're surfing down to the Cardinia Cultural Centre in Pakenham on Thursday the 29th of June. Fran King is one of the Bootleg Beach Boys. He joins me online right now. Fran, nice to have you with us today in Casey Radio.
How are you, Leigh? Nice to be here.
Yeah, nice to have you, pal. Thank you very, very much for joining us. You've got a busy schedule. Gee, you're on a great program, aren't you, here in Australia?
Yeah, we're really getting to see a lot of the country and getting to do some nice California sunshine harmonies for you.
That's wonderful. Well, you're missing that election over there in the UK at the moment, so you escaped that, didn't you?
We escaped that we left before all that was kicking off. It was all the warm-up stuff, but
yes.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be it's going to go down to the wire, but it looks so.
Well, they're saying that on the news. It could be very, very close. Perhaps your Prime Minister May has done the wrong thing there and calling the alert. But anyway, you'll know when you get home, I'm sure. The results will be out and they'll be there. You've been here since the 25th of May, touring right around Australia.
We have. We've been here a while, and we're not leaving until about the 11th or 12th of July, so we're going to get to see a little bit more too.
What do you like most of Australia?
I just love the contrasting, wherever we travel, the contrasting, the kind of ruggedness and then the green, the different kind of, it's almost like, so many different continents rolled up into one. It's beautiful.
Well, you haven't been down to Victoria yet, as I noticed on your schedule there. So when you head down to Wagga, you're going to Wodonga, I think. Wodonga you're heading to.
Yeah.
And then the Cultural Centre down here at Pakenham. You're going to love the area down here too. It's a beautiful part of Australia.
Yeah,
it really is.
We Googled it there and it looks absolutely beautiful. So we're really looking forward to that end of the tour.
And down at Pakenham, you've got a lovely theatre there. It's a beautiful, beautiful theatre.
Excellent. Well, we've had some absolutely gorgeous theatres on this tour. And it's taken us far and wide. We're really so glad that our first tour of Australia has been, this comprehensive.
Yeah, that's wonderful. The name Bootleg, where did it come from?
Bootleg, as in, rolls off the tongue a little easier than doppelganger, than in duplicate or, revivalist. I think it's, and with the fact that it's with Beach Boys associated to it, I think it just rolls off the tongue a little better, like Bootleg Beach Boys, as opposed to, and I think therein you get straight off the impression that, it's a, if you like, it's a facsimile of the Beach Boys at a certain period in their career, peak period of their prowess, really.
So you've centred this around the late 60s?
Yeah, we pride ourselves on sounding like them around that key time of California Girls, right up to Pet Sounds and Smile. And, I mean, we do go right up to the Kokomo 80s and stuff like that, but we kind of pride the harmonies on sounding like it was at the peak of their career.
You and the other guys in the group have all done tribute-type shows. How come the Beach Boys? What influenced you to pick the Beach Boys up?
Well, I think the obvious love there is the love of melody and the love of the use of harmony, and we've all kind of dipped in and out of each other's bands over the years. So we actually worked together over various years, but not on a Beach Boys related thing. So we would often get together and say how it would be interesting to do with Beach Boys and how challenging it would be, because the harmonies were based on the Freshmen, which are like, it's like that post-war 1940s early doo-wop harmonies, which are really interesting to do and also not easy. They're very complicated. So it was a challenge to us too. But we were drawn to the melody and to the beauty of the songs, and the fact that catalogue of songs, that canon of work is just standing the test of time.
Fran, a couple of your members there, Mark Maguire and Joe Leach, they sing a lot of the harmonies, don't they, that make the Beach Boys so recognisable? Yeah. And yourself, you take the higher register. You're doing the work of Brian and Carl Wilson.
Yeah. I get up there for most of the show. Yeah, it's as I said, it's a vocally challenging show to do. But having said that, there's a piece in the middle of the show that we feature in every show where we do an a cappella slot, which is, completely unaccompanied.
Beautiful.
Or else either accompanied by one acoustic guitar or something. And we change it, we vary it from show to show, not only to make it interesting for the various audiences, in case, there's those people that maybe come along to see the show twice. We change it to kind of keep it interesting for us and keep it interesting for, excuse me, the fans that are watching. So we try and challenge ourselves by doing the likes of songs that maybe the Beach Boys would have never performed live, like, the things we did last summer, has been featuring lately in the a cappella piece, or, And the Hearts Were Full of Spring, and even Our Prayer from the opening of Smile.
Oh, that's lovely.
Do that. So it's, it's a challenge to us, keeps us on our toes, keeps us match fit, and it also is interesting for the listener.
There's something very nice about a cappella, isn't there? And if you can do it well, which you guys do, it comes over so nicely.
I think it's down to the blend. You really need to get the blend, and especially when you've got 5 singers. I mean, it's intrinsically important to get everybody that has that matching tone that's almost, you can replicate. Like the Wilson brothers, you have to remember the 3 of them in the band, they had that blood, or they call blood harmony, which is that natural resonance in their voices with each other. So we try and complement that by the band that we put together, because we're very well matched, I think, tonal-wise, vocally.
Fran, when you, Joe and Damien and Mark and Joe, as I said before, got together, how did you work out the harmonies and who'll be doing those harmonies? Was it just something that came naturally to you?
Well, I think it's the various parts of the band are actually farmed out to each individual member. Like Joe Leach is actually uncannily like Mike Love from 1960, from the time of Pet Sound, 66, 67. If you look at him, just on stage, you're almost rubbing your eyes, kind of going, oh my God, he looks exactly like Mike Love did around that time. You see those famous studio photographs of them, and on that famous shot of them in San Diego Zoo on the cover of the album. But we had to, we got each individual member to play each individual part. Obviously, Damien, being the drummer, is Dennis, and he also sings as well. So he's done a lot of the catalogue of Dennis to sing in the band, and vice versa all the way around the group between Al Jardine is played by Mike Love, and he sings his songs. So I guess we found out who could sing in what register first of all, and then we took it from there. We a lot of the songs.
And Fran, how did you go about choosing the songs? Because in a concert, of course, you've got about an hour and a half or so to fill, but there are so many songs to put into there. How did you take some out and put the others in?
That's always the crux of. That's always
It's hard.
Any arguments on the road? It's always what to leave out of the set. It's one of those things. I mean, the hits pick themselves. Obviously, the likes of your California Girls and Surfing Safari and all those songs. They'll always pick themselves. They'll always feature heavily in a set. But there are the fringe ones that we pull in and out of the set. Like, at a given time, you might have Let 'Em Run Wild, from Today. And then it might be, next week, it might be, The Little Girl I Once Knew, put in its place. And then things like, Sail On Sailor has drifted in and out of the set, depending on what kind of a show we're doing. Surf's Up has been coming in and out lately, which is a beautiful, beautiful, heart-wrenchingly gorgeous song from Smile.
After this tour in Australia, where do you head to?
We go to Ireland to do a couple of shows, and then straight to the UK on the weekend of getting home to do a double bill with the Bootleg Beatles, of all people.
Right.
No association, just the name, Bootleg, that is. But we were nicely asked by their management team to open for them at the Pembroke Castle concert on the. I think that's in and around the 19th of July.
That'll be exciting.
So that's our next European date. And then after that, it looks like it's a trek around Belgium, Holland, and Luxembourg.
Well, you boys are very, very busy. That's all I can say. You've got a great group there. I've listened to you. I love your work. I think it's very, very good. And I'd encourage my listeners down this neck of the woods to pop along on the 29th of June to the Cardinia Cultural Centre. They can buy tickets online by going to that site, Cardinia Cultural Centre. And anyone listening around Wodonga in northern Victoria, you're there on Wednesday, the 28th of June. You got a quick trip down that day, haven't you? It's about a 3.5 hour trip down to Pakenham. So
we've had a few long trips. We've had a few 10-hour spins around the place. This place is so vast.
It is.
We really thought, we thought we'd done after a couple of hours flying here, But I mean, we've spent more time in a van, I think, than we have in some of the European dates that we've done. But we're loving it. We're physically getting to see the country this way.
Well, I noticed you've been to Dubbo in New South Wales, through to Rockhampton in Queensland, so right up north there, and you've been been all over the place. You've had a lovely, lovely trip. Listen, I'm going to wish you all the best, Fran, and I know you're going to have a lovely trip down here in Victoria. Good to talk to you. I'll try and get to the concert too on the night and take you guys in. Good to talk to you, Fran. Thank you very much for your time today, pal. Okay, bye-bye to you.
Bye-bye.